Next question comes from Zach out in Little Rock, Arkansas. He said, on your last show, you said 12 teams have a shot in the SEC. Who are the biggest wild cards that could actually win the conference? Zach, did I say that? That doesn't sound like me. I did say that there are 12 teams from the FanDuel odds perspective that are kind of in a group that they could theoretically project to win the SEC. So, yeah, kind of said that. So you want wild cards that could win the SEC? Well, first off, let's look at the odds, because I'm not going to pick teams from like the top 5, because that defeats the purpose of being a wild card, I think. So, Texas, no. Georgia, no. Alabama, no. LSU, no. Ole Miss, even. Like, let's take those teams. Let's remove them from the equation. I think Oklahoma is the first team that comes to mind, because they're all the way down there at plus 2,500 odds, and I legitimately think Oklahoma has the team profile to compete for the SEC championship. You know the tough schedule is baked in here. It has to be baked into the way you talk about them. It's baked into their over-under win total, which is 6.5. They face, from the perspective of odds to win the national championship, they face the number 1, 6, 9, 10, 13, 17, 18, and 26 teams in the odds to win it all. That sounds fun. But if the quarterback position is B+ or better for them this year, I trust them at the skill spots. I trust them at running back. I tentatively trust that the offensive line will be better. I trust the defense. Oklahoma's a wild card team there. Because of a lot of that stuff, turns from question mark to plus, they've got a really good talent roster. They could win the league. Texas A&M is also a team that I would insert here. I've got no doubt about Texas A&M's identity. Texas A&M is going to be a bowling ball of a team this year. That's what they intend to be. The ground game should be there. I think you've got an improving quarterback there who can hit the deep ball. Hopefully the intermediate passing game is upticking, but he himself is a little bit of a mobile threat. The defense I have to count on elevating. And the profile of that team should be that. Power run game, guy that can hit you over the top, play plus to dominant defense. That should be A&M. If they are that, then that's a very, very hard kind of team to beat, because they're not doing it with backups. They're not doing it with guys that you passed on. They've still got a pretty good talent roster there. And I trust Mike Elko developmentally about as much as anyone in this league. And they don't have a rough couple of games to start off with, all due respect to UTSA. They don't play at Notre Dame until week 3. They don't start conference play until week 4. So they got some time to work out the kinks. Auburn, ironically, who A&M plays week 4. I'm going to do some ifs here that are pretty irresponsible. If we go back to last year, if Auburn's bounce of ball plays went their way, if the turnover rate was a little bit different, I don't say luck, because I think that was more than just bad luck for Auburn, then they would have been a borderline playoff contending team last year. But as we know, those things did not go Auburn's way, and it was a very bad year last year. Recruiting, the past 3 cycles, those classes have been 18th, 10th, and 7th. So there is really good talent baked into this roster. They have a top 10 portal class. It all comes down to Jackson Arnold. It all comes down to whether last year was just an example of oil and water fit, and he comes in and Hugh Freeze reminds everyone why he was an Elite 11 MVP, why he was a former 5-star quarterback. And if that's the case, then if Auburn's good and Auburn's in the running for the SEC, they're the kind of team that can get there and win it. Plus, that is quintessential Auburn. Put them on the hot seat, be picking them to win 7.5 games. That's when they win. Auburn doesn't win when they got high expectations. They win when they got no expectations. So that's kind of this year for them. Hey, quick timeout. Check and see if you're subscribed to the channel. If you're not, make sure you do. It's free. It doesn't obligate you or sign you up for anything. It just helps us keep the channel free. All right, back to the show. I would put South Carolina in there. I would put Missouri in there. But the question was teams that are dark horses, kind of wild cards to win the league. And I could be wrong here, and I give those guys over at South Carolina full permission to use this internally. I don't want this in any hype video that goes public. But I don't know if South Carolina can win the SEC. At their best, I don't know if they can win the SEC. I don't know if they backfilled at wide receiver good enough. I don't know what the running back position is there because I don't know the situation with whether guys are going to be eligible or not. They lost a lot of good defensive talent too. So the same thing with Missouri. The schedule's favorable. If Bo Prabula pans out at quarterback, really love the addition they made at running back. I always love Eli Drinkwitz's teams to be very sneaky good. Are they good enough to win the league? I didn't put them in that classification, so that's why I didn't include those as wildcard teams. I just wanted to be respectful. Jesse, are you actually typing something in the prompter right now? Oh, I did? No, I didn't. Yeah, I did. Okay. I thought we had breaking news. Like I thought we had breaking news out of the Middle East that Jesse was typing in the prompter. We don't. The breaking news was I forgot about Florida. That's the breaking news. So yes, Florida is also in this. It's also schedule related. I think Florida would be in the top 5 odds to win the SEC if their schedule was a little bit lighter. I am confident, highly confident, if Florida had Missouri's schedule, they would be in the top 5 odds to win the SEC, and they wouldn't even be in this segment. Wide receiver, plus. Running game, plus. Offensive line, plus. There's a lot to like about them. DJ Lagway, I had him preseason ranked as my number 1 quarterback in the SEC, so I obviously think that position is a plus. I think the defensive personnel is really good. They've got 20 underclassmen who played 200-plus snaps last year. So they got a lot of returning guys who are experienced. And they surged at the right time at the end of the season last year. They saved Napier's job. Look, I don't think of them as a wild card so much. I'm counting on Florida. I think they're going to be a really good team this year.